Jesus Christ has set us free, and all we need to do is believe. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering what I mean by that. Well, let me explain. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He put the stars in the sky and rivers along the earth. He placed every animal, all the birds and the fish he created. And then God created his most precious, beautiful creation of all, people. And it was perfect. They were living in perfect harmony with one another. But as you and I know, people like to wander. And before long, they started to wander. And they broke the one rule God had given them. You see, God told them that they could eat from any fruit in the garden, except the fruit that gave the knowledge of good and evil. But they found themselves taking that fruit and eating it, and thus breaking the harmony. Anger, hate, murder came into the world. Now, before I continue, I just want to remind you guys what I said at the beginning. Christ has set us free. Remember that as I continue my story. When I first found out about this first sin that these people committed, this first wrongdoing, I was angry. How could the world be taken from the harmony because of another person's action? It made me angry. But then I realized that I have been choosing sin every day since. I've been lying, I've been cheating, I've been gossiping, and I think it's safe to say that you have too. But God had a better plan. And God had a better plan because he loved us. And so God sent his son. His son was perfectly divine. He was perfectly God, but he was born of man. And so he was both perfectly God and perfectly human. And he came to this earth, and he walked on this earth. For you see, God in his perfection could not stand sin. In us, in our sinfulness, we did not deserve God's perfection. And so Jesus came and walked out his life perfectly. He never sinned once. Oh, he was tempted. He was tempted by the devil himself, but he never sinned. But in our sinfulness, we nailed Jesus to a tree, and Jesus died. But not for a second do I want you to think that that was outside of God's plan. For you see, death is the punishment for sin. And so Jesus being perfect, death couldn't hold him because he never deserved that punishment. And so 3 days later, he rose from the grave. And in doing so, he paid our punishment. For you see, we're the ones who deserve death. But he paid that for us. He died. And he paid that punishment. And in doing so, he bridged the gap between perfection and sinfulness. And he bridged it with forgiveness. And so that all who believe in him might be forgiven. And so what do I want you to do in response to this? Well, I want you to believe in Jesus Christ. I want you to believe that Jesus Christ came to earth and walked out his life perfectly so that he could die and be raised again to give you life.